What's up, guys? Good evening. Gonna make a quick mic check just to make sure you can hear us before we do anything. Last time we did this, I think we talked for about 20, 30 seconds before we realized that the mics were muted. So, somebody please comment before we do anything else that you can actually hear us, and we'll get going. Already had a comment pre...
Josh and Rachel.
Before we even started, from Rachel saying congrats on the 10K. Thank you very much. In case you're wondering, that's Rachel of Josh and Rachel's Food and Travel. Cool channel in its own right. Not very far behind us in the sub game either, so they're going to be there soon enough. So thank you guys so much. And thanks for joining us. That's awesome. All right. Sounds like
Someone said they can hear us.
They can hear us. All right. Mics actually work. So I don't know. We've had... You know, I was looking back at some of our old videos the other night, and...
they're terrible.
Not just that, but the audio is terrible in some of those older videos, and even some of the more recent ones, and that's probably the biggest problem I've been dealing with the whole time, is finding microphones that we like that actually work. Half the time we're just using a cell phone. So anyway, thanks for coming in and watching with us, guys, tonight.
Yeah. And we're going to try to keep up with all the comments, so thank you to everybody saying congratulations. Thanks, Julie, Steve, Rachel... everybody, so thank you so much. And
we need
Trevor.
to know Trevor, because Soul Search Gurus, we're going to need a name on that one. That's Trevor. AC, Brian, Peter, hey, what's up? All right, good evening, everybody. Well, we do have a Q&A to do tonight. We didn't get a ton of questions, but we got just enough. But we also watched Jeff Walker's live stream this afternoon. As coincidence would have it, he had a live stream Q&A today that was scheduled long before this one was. And anyway, we watched that one, and he had a lot of good questions asked. We've got some questions, but not a ton of them, but we'll go through all of them. Okay. So that I forgot I was going to do this. And this. There, that looks so much cooler. When you got toys like this software, you got to use it a little bit. Comments are flying in. Thanks, guys. I'll leave it up to her to catch that up, since I'm the one who never shuts up.
Yeah.
I'll let her read comments.
Sean says
I just babble.
Sean says the party can now start. So
anyway. Because Sean's here. What's up, Sean? Sean's in the house. Josh, when you find some mics you like, let us know, because we struggle. Yeah. The wireless thing, we've got these, and actually these work pretty well, but the problem is just taking them with you and having to set them up, like at a restaurant or someplace like that, as you guys well know. It's a pain, so.
Yeah, thanks, Nigel. We're really happy. This is a milestone we had been working really hard on, and honestly, it has been creeping slow.
Quite honestly, it was a place we didn't think when we started that we would ever get. But then, I don't know, 6 months ago, we did a 7,500 subscriber live stream when I was in Vegas by myself. Mm-hmm. And I thought 10,000 was right around the corner, and it has, you know, you have good months and you have bad months, and they've been slowing way down. And then as we approached 10,000 the other day, we actually started losing subs. And we lose a few every day. Yeah. You can see that on your analytics. We lose a few a day, maybe 3. The day before we hit 10,000, we lost 14. And then the day we hit 10,000, we lost 10. It's like people were purposely trying to...
They're slowing us down.
Trying to keep us from getting there. I don't know what was going on there.
Did you want to open up the...
But
we got a mini.
Celebration for a small milestone is a small bottle of champagne. Got this at Costco in a little pack of 6 mini bottles just because it was on clearance. And I was like, well, that's a great deal. And now we have an occasion for it.
Yeah.
So,
woohoo!
There we go. We've got some apple cider. We're going to make apple cider mimosas with this. In
spirit of fall.
In the spirit of fall. Here you are. Pull your glass out there.
Yeah.
Got our fall colors on. We've got our fall cocktails on. Yeah. Well, I was going to say cheers, but she's busy. But yeah, we do have quite a few questions that we're going to answer this evening. And if you have more questions, put them in the comments and we'll try to catch them. They are popping up on our screen right here, but
there's a little bit of a delay.
There's a lag here, and it only holds about 6 at a time. So if they're going relatively quickly, we're going to miss them.
They said a Bob Barker Price is Right mic would be epic. I agree.
I don't know what he's saying. Sorry, we've got a kid peeking in on us, trying to tell us something right now. Just bring the sign over here, please. He's got it written on a sign because he's not.
Okay.
It is quiet.
Your mics are quiet.
Our mics are quiet. Well, hey, I'm glad he's looking out for us. Guys, if you can't hear us, I mean, they said they could hear us loud and clear, but these turn up. Oh. Mine was way down. Technical difficulties. All right.
You're not like 30 seconds.
Okay, see ya.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, we do have some questions and answers anyway that we're going to go through. But if you have questions as we go along, put them in there.
I'll try to keep up, yeah.
About anything, about Vegas, about us, about anything.
Joshua's app. Thanks for catching a live stream. Yep. It's kind of hard sometimes to meet everybody's schedule for sure. Last week, Missouri felt like fall. Today it feels like summer. You ain't a kidding. What was it? Wednesday morning, it was 18 degrees here.
Yeah,
So
it was an all-time record low
Yeah.
for the month of October, and we hit it on like the 16th or 18th or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. This is why we can't have nice things.
it's true.
Sean, already with questions. Do you want to see the new show at the Wynn? Of course. I mean, that looks really cool.
Yeah.
And they've got a beautiful theater there, and it's nice that it's no longer behind curtains. So, yeah, absolutely. Rocky Mountain Roller. How many times a year do you go to Vegas? Well, I've been 5 times this year.
4?
And you've been 4.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 is about the normal number. I did take a solo trip this year just to be out there for the reopening of the Palms.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun. And that was worthwhile because I got a lot of videos made out of that. And I did a live stream at the Palms, which was a lot of fun. Watched by a lot of people. So that whole trip was worthwhile. We're going back in December. That's probably going to be one of the questions, so we'll just answer that up front. Our next trip is going to be in December, or early to mid-December. So
We're thinking, what,
The
the
9th
9th through the 12th, I believe, is when we're going.
and
So,
staying at
oh, sorry, we're staying at the park. I didn't know you wanted me to. We're going to stay at Park MGM.
yeah.
That's the plan, at least.
Just
so.
the standard rooms. The comps are poor right now. Room rates, even in December. I went on there expecting that we could stay at any of the MGM resorts really cheap or free because it's December. That's the off season. They're still sky high.
Really high.
They were crazy high. We couldn't even get a full comp at Park MGM.
Mm-hmm.
It's a partial. I mean, we're getting a night, 2 nights free and paying for the third a little bit, not a full.
I feel like
Great,
this
but-
whole year has been really high.
It's been
price range.
crazy.
It's been really expensive.
And we were talking about that. Jeff was talking about that on his live stream earlier today, and I commented on that. Room rates in Vegas I think it's probably an all-time high.
Yeah.
And I think
For sure the highest we've seen it.
pent-up demand after the pandemic, I guess, is still fueling that. I mean, conventions are back and stuff now, but
I went to a convention for the first time.
she
in
did.
September.
When we were there in September, she went ahead without me for the first 3 days because she was attending a convention. So conventions are fully back.
It was full.
And that was in the medical field, so even they're not afraid to have
Oh,
conventions
Rachel
now.
says NFR finals are that weekend. I did not know that. Okay.
All right,
That
well,
makes sense.
that makes sense. But I looked, and it was pretty much the whole month of December was, and yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And that's down on the south end of the strip. It's
Makes sense.
It's down. I assume it's still at the Thomas and Mack Center, maybe, which is south. So the south end would be even busier. So anyway, Joshua Dale, he'll be in December. He'll be in Vegas December 11th through the 13th. Nigel is staying at Park from the 5th. From the 5th, is that of December, I presume? Anyway.
That's a good question.
Thoughts on the new casino that will go up across from the Cosmopolitan? Well, I'm excited about it because I was telling her this the other night, that's pretty much a blighted street corner.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a wasted space that I feel like something better could come along. So I think it'll be exciting.
Some of the most valuable real estate on planet Earth, and there was a Tex-Mex restaurant on the corner and that weird Hawaiian marketplace, and it's just a real kind of sketchy part of the strip. Now it's going to have Cosmopolitan 2.0 because if you've seen the renderings of that hotel,
It looks really similar.
It looks like the Boulevard Tower of the Cosmopolitan. It's like they copied it. So that's a little weird, but that'll look cool right across the street from it. But we will get into the questions here in just a minute. I've got all these little tabs.
I guess
to
we could
click
answer
on
the
over
one
here.
about kids if we have kids. Someone asked.
We just got this one answered. Somebody threw that one out there to us. Do we have kids? Well, yeah. One just came in and told us our mics were too quiet. Hopefully they're louder now. Somebody comment.
Yeah.
Nigel says November. Okay.
Yeah. So, we've got 2 boys.
Yep.
So
16 and 11. That was the 11-year-old who came in to tell us that our mics were too quiet. So
he gave something check.
he's a helper. So yeah, that answers that question right away. And then, hey, we'll just throw out the personal ones right at the beginning. How did you guys meet? And I think we answered this one on our last live stream, but why don't you go ahead and tell them?
I wish I had a really cool story, but honestly, we met online. So
Well, tell them. I mean, Match.com. You were stalking me on Match.com.
I sent you a message, and then he turned me down actually the first time.
No.
He did.
No,
he
that's
said,
not-
"No, you had a date."
I said,
and
I
you
believe in
said,
dibs.
You believe in dibs, and I said, "Okay." And you're like, "Well, if things don't work out, I'll let you know."
Listen. I believe
Things didn't work out, so
dibs.
here we are.
Luckily, things didn't work out.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Have we ever played slots and blackjack? Of course, we're sitting at a blackjack table right now. You probably can't see that. Craps. I played craps live one time. I play bubble craps from time to time, but I'm still intimidated of the real table. And also, you got to take a pretty big bankroll to the craps table, and sometimes I'm not comfortable doing that.
It's because we lose all the time.
Because we're already, by the time I would get around to it, we're already down hundreds, and I'm like, ew, the last thing I want to do is buy in for 1,000 at the craps table, especially when they're $25 minimums now, and you need to put odds on it. So anyway, AC. Look, we had never met. I didn't know her. You know, this is online dating, all right? Those could have been pictures of somebody else for all I know. I could have been getting catfished, all right? It's called online security. That's what I call it. Could have been a Manti Te'o situation. I could have been getting catfished for all I know.
Hello from Western Pennsylvania.
Hey, Ken, welcome in. All right, well, since we have no agenda here, we'll just go straight into the questions. I thought I had these in some kind of logical order, but I don't. And anyway, again, if you think of anything else, please feel free to just drop them in the comments. But first one came in from Kevin, and he asked if we'd ever explored anything off-strip, nature-wise, like Red Rock Canyon, Valley of Fire, or other things, the Old Mormon Fort, which most of you probably don't know what that is, but I do. That's the oldest building in Las Vegas. It was a Mormon settlement before Las Vegas was ever a city. And anyway, that building is still there. And the answer to that is no. And why?
Well, first off, because we're usually always so busy trying to film and do a bunch of things on the strip. And the second reason is, honestly, we're usually there for only 3 nights. So it's hard. We would love to go.
And we don't have a car.
And we don't have a car. So we would love to sometime to actually extend our stay and do some of the things, you know, like exploring outside of the strip. But it's kind of hard right now, but someday.
Yeah, one of these days, you know, with kids, and we answered that question, with kids it's hard, and with our jobs it's hard for us to get more than a long weekend away. So, you know, for those, we'd like to be able to stay for a week and rent a car and drive out to, I've been to Hoover Dam, she hasn't. I think that'd be cool. The Grand Canyon even, but definitely Red Rock Canyon.
Yeah.
I'd love to take a fall or winter hike in Red Rock Canyon.
You take a hike?
I can hike. But anyway, so that's the answer to that one.
Laura asked a question, have you ever stayed in the Arts District? No, we haven't. I know they have that new hotel down there, that boutique hotel. What's it called? The English?
Yeah, the English hotel.
And it looks really neat.
I'd love to eat at that restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant looks really good. However, it's kind of, again, off the beaten path. And a lot of our filming more so takes place on the strip. So, you know.
Well, not only that, it's not so much Vegas. You know, it's just it's a cool district that you could probably find in a lot of different cities. And so, no, we've not been down there. We'd like to. There's breweries down there that we like, that we would love to go to. So, again, maybe one of these days when our trips are a little bit longer than 3 days.
Have we checked out the Neon Museum? Yes, we have.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed the Neon Museum. I thought it was a really cool experience.
And more than anything, was it called Brilliant? Is that what the light show was called?
At the end, yeah, I think so.
Well, they're separate attractions.
Yeah.
You have to buy tickets separately. There's this thing called, I think it's called Brilliant. And it's in the part of the yard where the lights, they don't work anymore. But they light them up with LEDs and create like a show set to music and Vegas history, and it was awesome. And I thought that was better than the Neon Museum itself. Rachel says the beer in the Arts District is great. You would know. We watched a video of you guys
Yeah.
at some breweries down there one time, and we've heard good things about some of them. We always try the craft beer at the local place,
Yeah.
restaurants and bars on the strip, and we've had some good ones. We've had some bad ones too, but that's anywhere. So, the other question I put up there: ever traveled overseas? Goodness gracious, I'm
getting
sorry.
tired
That's
of it,
probably
honestly.
probably picking up on these microphones. I sort of have on cruises. So I've gotten off in ports in Jamaica and Mexico, but that's the only international travel I've ever done. How about you?
I've never been overseas. I mean, I went to Mexico for like a little bit.
You crossed the border
Just for a
from
smidge.
Arizona.
It counts. But no, I think the farthest I've ever traveled is Hawaii, I guess, technically. So.
What's a country we'd like to visit? Well, Ireland for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our first big trip. We go to Vegas so much that we don't get a chance to go other places that we'd like to. But we got to change that at some point.
Yeah.
And now that we've come out of this pandemic, going forward, we want to take at least a week-long trip to Ireland and England. I would like to see both and spend a few days on each. Italy, of course.
Yeah.
But we've never been to those places, and they're on the bucket list. I know most people tend to travel to those places when they get older. We'd like to get there sooner than that, though.
Yeah. Mike asked, watching from Oklahoma City, well, not too far. Watch your reviews on. We'll be staying in March at Aria at a Stay Well Strip View room. Any thoughts, good or bad, at the Stay Well rooms?
Well, we've never stayed in one of their Stay-Well rooms.
No, we have others though.
But we stayed at the MGM Grand in a Stay-Well room, which I really like. It's not that much different than a regular room. The best thing about it is the air purifier.
Yeah.
It
makes
really
like
does.
a nice little soft noise.
It really does freshen up the air in the room too, and it makes a nice hum. And you'd like to think that the Stay-Well rooms are going to be the cleanest ones they've got, so you should be good there. I really do think that Aria has gotten their act together. Now, you're always going to hear bad reviews of every hotel. But I like to think that Aria has seemed to have gotten their act together. So I think you'll be good to go there. I don't know.
Sorry.
Our cue card man is back, and he's trying to tell us something, and we can't figure out what he's trying to tell us. So I'm not going to worry about that.
Are you going to come to the UK? You would love it. So would your boys. I ain't taking the boys. Heck no.
That's too expensive. That flight's way too expensive to bring them.
He's like, what?
They will stay with grandparents while
Yeah.
we go and spend a few days in Ireland and a few days in England. And who knows, maybe pop over to Scotland as well.
Mm-hmm. Laura asked, are you going to eat at Bavette's in December? No.
No,
we did.
We ate there this past summer. And it was good, and I would go back, but we like to always try. I know, Jordan. I know. Are you talking about the? Yeah. Okay. No, we ate at Bavette's this summer. Really enjoyed it.
The atmosphere is amazing at Bavette's.
Mm-hmm. We haven't decided where we're going to eat yet in December. This is going to be. So anyway, we haven't even actually started the planning on that. We just decided about a week or so ago that we were going to go and what dates we were going to go. So it remains to be seen, but we'll figure that out soon. What's been the biggest challenge as content creators from New York or in Vegas?
Making sure we get all the shots, honestly,
Yeah.
I think. You get tired. Even when you go out to travel, you get tired. Like, you're trying to get it all.
Yes, and not getting too upset with each other in the process. We're trying to vacation, we're trying to have a good time, and then we're trying to get all the shots. And that, and trying to get people to watch your videos, quite honestly.
Yeah, sometimes
there was a slight discussion about this on that other live stream we watched earlier today about how it's such a crowded space and how you even get a foothold in it anymore. Quite honestly, we got lucky a couple of times. It was the right place at the right time kind of thing, but getting anybody to watch your videos, I don't know how many times we put out a video that I thought was pretty good, and then it just flops, just absolutely flops, and it's like, or it's something that we've done before, just a different material, and then people are unsubscribing because of it. And I'm like, this is what we do. Why would somebody who previously unsubscribed because of this video. So
That's a frustrating thing, but you know.
But I think what she said, trying to get all the filming done while still having a vacation.
That's the difficult part.
Yeah.
Nigel, whoop, angry mom face. I know, guys. I'm sorry. He was just all up in our grill. I couldn't handle it.
He was told on no uncertain terms that he couldn't be up here while this was going on.
And now he's been up here like 3 times. So, AC says, go to Scotland. Edinburgh is the prettiest city I've been. That is one place I would love to go. My previous father-in-law is from Scotland, so yeah, I would love to go back there.
Yeah.
Or like, I just go there, I guess. Okay.
You haven't been.
Have not been, yeah.
All right, and this was from Kevin, who heard about us from Jeff Does Vegas, the podcast, and he was in the comments with us earlier today. What kind of podcasts or YouTube channels do we like? Obviously, we like Vegas YouTube channels.
Yeah.
I mean, when you create Vegas videos, you want to at least keep an eye on what everybody else is doing, and quite honestly, use those to make yours better. So we follow quite a few of those. Josh and Rachel are on the live stream tonight. We watch all their videos.
We just watched their cruise one the other night, and it made me jealous.
Yeah, yeah. How do you guys find the time? How do you guys get so many days off work? That's what we want to know. You guys ever work, or are you always on a cruise and in Vegas?
We're just jealous.
Yes, it's jealousy for sure, because that's why we don't go more places and more often. It's just trying to get the time. But so yeah, we watch theirs. We watch Travel Ruby, of course, and we've had the privilege to meet her a couple of times and hang out with her and her husband. Great people, make great videos. We watch Pomsey, of course, and that's kind of what got us started on it. And I love his videos because of the artistic. I just like his style, and I try to do a poor man's version of his editing sometimes. And I mean, I'm getting there. So we like those. As far as podcasts are concerned, I don't listen to any podcasts other than I do listen to the Jeff Does Vegas one. She's got some.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, and you guys would probably be absolutely freaked out if you saw the list of my podcasts. It's all crime and murder and mystery and
everybody likes that stuff.
Yeah,
so.
But
that's what we watch on Netflix as well, is crime documentaries.
So I guess
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Probably the few I watch or listen to the most are Crime Junkie, and let's see, the other one is Morbid. I like Morbid too. So anyway,
it's an invitation, and we'll be there.
Yeah.
It's funny. We were watching your Alaskan one the other day, the day one, and I said, I wonder when they stop doing Alaskan cruises. What time? About this time of year. And then about 5 minutes later, Josh says, "This is the last Alaskan cruise Royal Caribbean sailing on this year." And I'm like, that answers my question. So yeah, that's kind of what we watch on YouTube, this other Vegas stuff. One thing I do watch, I love urban exploring. So I
thought you were going to say the flat top grill thing.
Oh, flat top grill, flat top king. Yeah, we recently bought a flat top grill. Like the why is it escaping me right now?
Pit Boss.
Yeah, mine's a Pit Boss. It's a ceramic cooktop, but you know what I'm talking about, flat top grills. And so I found a channel when I bought that, a guy doing all sorts of recipes on the flat top, and he makes YouTube videos about it. He makes good YouTube videos about it. Well, she's bringing in our special guest this evening. It's not her best angle. No, but urban exploring videos. I love YouTube videos. People, I just abandoned places just really pique my interest, and I'd love to explore. I'm always afraid I'm going to get caught trespassing and thrown in jail, so I would never do it. So I watch YouTubers who go explore creepy abandoned places, and it's really cool. So that's the one thing probably on YouTube that I watch other than Vegas.
Oh, see,
stuff.
Rachel watches and so does AC and Rachel. They're with me. They know.
Well, I think everybody's interested in crime. Everybody just wants to know, why do people do these things, and how do they get away with it, and whatnot. So that's kind of what we watch and listen to. Next one, I don't know what this one is. Favorite fancy restaurant in Vegas. Now, we don't have anything on certain people who are present on this live stream right now. And we don't go to nearly as many fancy places. The person that sent this question in mentioned that on his first trip to Vegas, he took his fiance to Le Cirque. Le Cirque at Bellagio, and that's still one of their favorite experiences ever. So she's just staring at me. So he wanted to know what our favorite, fancy restaurant would be something that's an experience. And we tried to get to thinking about it, and we've not been to anything that's on par with something like Le Cirque. I mean, that's a five-diamond, super expensive restaurant. But right next door to it, basically, is the Mayfair Supper Club, and I think we say this every time, but that one still sticks in my mind as one of my favorite experiences. The food was good. Wasn't outstanding, but it was good. It wasn't
the best food that we've had in Vegas, but just the overall experience was the coolest.
I mean, I would go back there for a birthday or an anniversary or a special occasion in a heartbeat. And I don't like to repeat restaurants a lot unless I just really loved it, and I love that one. So that would be my answer to that one. Uh-oh, we got some spam, and oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh.
You know, nobody click on anything in the chat. We don't have a moderator on this, so we can't boot those out of there. We're a little too busy, but... we'll just ignore it. Moving on. What? Oh, you're looking down there?
Oh, they haven't tried
Soviet urban exploring. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, that does sound cool.
Huh.
Do we have a daily budget or bankroll?
No. I'd say
Not
no.
really.
You know, everybody's got their own way. You know, some people do the envelope thing. Some people have an envelope for dining and one for gambling and one for shows and entertainment. We don't do that. Luckily, we go often enough that we have pretty good control. We hate to lose so much that we're not going to blow all our cash gambling. Yeah. We tighten up really fast when it starts to go south. So no, I mean, we do plan our meals out pretty much in advance.
We always do,
So we already have an idea of how much it's going to cost for lunch and dinner on a particular day, and it's never cheap. So no, we don't have a daily budget. We just play it by ear.
Rocky Mountain Roller said, you guys had me hooked when you went downtown to Vegas and you had to catch an early flight. Oh my gosh. And my face in the morning was priceless. You ain't a kidding, man.
We had like 3 hours, maybe 3 hours of sleep.
That was not my best decision.
Yeah, and you're the one who dragged us out there. You're like, let's keep going. Yeah. We wound up at the Golden Nugget, and she's standing over my shoulder while I played Blackjack at a very crowded Golden Nugget at like 1 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning, or Monday morning, Sunday night. So yeah, that was fun. What's your favorite type of show? Now, if you watch our channel, and we don't obviously do like show reviews, but on our daily vlogs, we talk about them sometimes, and we put them on our Facebook page. And we go to a lot of shows. We always still try to see at least one show while we're there. And they said music, comedy, magic, etc. I think we were talking about this earlier, and I like anything that's got a little bit of variety to it.
Yeah,
like
I do too.
Absinthe, opium. I kind of want to see that Atomic Saloon show.
Mad Apple had of course the music, the acrobatics, the comedy. We kind of liked with all of it. We really did enjoy the Brad Garrett's Comedy Club. That was fun.
Yeah, and I think we'd like to probably see more comedy type shows. That Mike Hammer show sounds really good. I hear a lot of great things about that.
We've only been to the one magic show. We were trying to go see that Shin Lim before, but we weren't able to go. Yeah. And then we did go to David Copperfield's last time. And
how did you feel about that?
I don't know. It was...
See, is that a ringing endorsement, or is that a ringing endorsement?
It was neat. It was just... not what I expected, or it was kind of bizarre. I don't know. If you guys have seen it, let me know what you thought. But
I read a lot of reviews before we went to that, and I took them with a grain of salt, but I think most of them were spot on. I feel like his performance is a little bit listless, like he's going through the motions. He's kind of got that personality.
I don't know if he's...
But there were cool illusions, for sure.
Yeah.
But it had a weird storyline with a little alien and a time machine, and it was just kind of bizarre.
The plot was weird.
Just do the illusions,
just do magic.
Just wow, just bring a car, just have a car materialize in midair, which he did, which was awesome. Don't bore me with the weird little alien story and all that stuff. So, David Copperfield, check. Would never see it again. Probably wouldn't even recommend it.
I don't think I'd recommend it, quite
unless
honestly.
You're just big into magicians and illusionists, and he's considered one of the best of all time. So if that's on your bucket list,
and I will say the illusions he did were really good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were fantastic.
Yeah.
I thought there just wasn't very many. It kind of, I don't know. Anyway, Steve says it was nice to see you in your most recent video some good wins on the slots. Did we?
Wins, yeah. Well, it was the free play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the second half of that, we made up for the first half. We actually wound up about breaking even. But that was okay because the second day felt like all wins, and that was really fun.
Joshua says, have you ever flown Spirit? I got round trip flight from Kansas City to Vegas for 81. We have not flown Spirit. I have had some friends that have flown Spirit before.
We don't have it. At our
we don't have
airport.
it in Springfield, so I'm not quite sure.
Ready to Vegas. Hey guys. Hi from Canada. Hope you're both well. We are. Welcome in. Thanks for being in.
I guess we probably should go to the next question.
Oh, yeah. Moving on to the next question here. Ever done any spas in Las Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
One.
Yeah, we went to Aria. We've been to that spa. Again, we just don't have a lot of time. I like going to spas, but, you know, Jordan and I were talking about this earlier. You know, I like going and having the experience at the spa in Vegas. Again, if you have the time or, you know, you want a relaxing moment or time. But you hate going and paying almost double, essentially, for the same service that you can get back home.
You're paying $120 for a $60 massage.
Yeah.
It's just,
well,
it is what it
that's
is.
cheap.
Well, right, and it's not any better. Now, the spas themselves are beautiful. Like, Aria's spa is phenomenal. It was
it's
so
gorgeous.
beautiful. They've got, like, a salt room. They've got hot stone beds. They've got a lot of different, very relaxing, cool places you can hang out in there. The sauna and the whirlpools are phenomenal. That's great if you've got 3 or 4 hours and you need to kind of recharge. It's a great, and I think a lot of them are pretty nice. But we don't make a habit out of it. We actually did have massages booked back in 2020, March of 2020, if that means anything to you. And the town started shutting down while we were there, and we decided to cancel our massages because, well, there was a lot of unknowns about what was going on with the pandemic and everything. It was just blowing up. So that would have been our second spa day, and we had to cancel that one. So
Matt says, do you ever play video poker? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Actually, on my last trip, let's see, in September, in between some of my conferences, I went down and played some video poker. I sat down, played, you know, some blacks or jacks are better.
Jacks are better.
What did I say?
You started
Anyway.
with blacks. I don't know.
Yeah,
It was weird.
anyway, whatever. Jacks are better. So I'm sitting down there for a few minutes, and all of a sudden this older gentleman comes and sits down next to me. I'm really dyslexic apparently right now. So he sits down next to me, and he wasn't there more than, I mean, like a minute and a half. Super nice. We were just chatting up. About a minute and a half in, he hits a royal flush and gets, I can't remember the.
It's probably about $1,200.
No, it was a little bit more. Anyway,
What was he
whatever.
betting?
But I'm just like, and he goes, well, look at that. And I'm like, I was so happy, but also so mad at the same time.
James just came back from Vegas early October. Favorite shopping center, Crystals or Forum Shops? Well, I got to go with Forum Shops because I can't afford anything at Crystals. I mean, we're by no means poor, but I can't shop at Crystals. I can't pay
and I think
$5,000 for a handbag.
I think Laura asked earlier if we had gone shopping in Vegas or have we gone to any outlets, and we did go to. It's been a while.
The North outlets,
and we thought they were actually pretty good. I enjoyed them.
I've been to those before. Yeah. We've been there, and I thought the outlets were cool. Yeah, I thought the outlets were great. So I would suggest. Oh yeah. So I would suggest the North outlets if you want affordable shopping in Vegas. But if I had to choose between the Forum Shops or Crystals, I go the Forum Shops.
I mean, James, let's be honest. I would love to be able to shop at Crystals, though. Thought about it.
There's also Miracle Mile Shops, but
Yeah.
that's pretty low rent compared to either one of those two. But you know, it's also okay. It's got a lot of cool places to eat and drink. So, all right. I kind of paraphrased this question that came in on Messenger. So many things move so fast in Vegas. I couldn't fit it all in there. What excites you about new hotels or attractions coming to Las Vegas? I take that to mean, what's new that's coming that we're excited about? That's how I take that question. Fontainebleau.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Finally.
And I think it's really going to happen this time. And I'm super excited about that. We went to the Resorts World grand opening, and then I went to the grand reopening at the Palms. And it's a blast to go to an opening of a property, especially one like Fontainebleau, which has been dead and buried for a long time. Locals wanted it knocked down. They wanted the Clark County Commission to condemn the building and have it taken down a few years ago. And to see that thing actually open up as a functioning hotel and casino right next to the convention center is going to be probably one of Vegas's finest moments, and it's going to be awesome to be there. I can't wait for that. That's going to be cool. And the new one we mentioned coming across from the Cosmopolitan, that's going to be cool too.
And that's the cool thing about Vegas. It's just ever changing.
Yeah,
It's always changing.
new
always
shows.
evolving.
Sean mentioned the show at the Wynn that's coming. That looks really cool. Mad Apple just opened up, and we saw that right away and really enjoyed that. So I think that's just, in a nutshell, that's one of the things we love about Vegas is all the new stuff. Every time you go, there's something that wasn't there the last time you were there, even if you go 4 times a year. So, read us the next.
Okay. How did this journey start for you?
Oh yeah, I was gonna start off with this one.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't get it into this. You go ahead and tell how we got started on the whole thing.
Oh gosh. Okay. So essentially, we started doing this a couple years ago just for fun. I mean, we were just wanting to keep kind of a personal, just a diary for us, of our travel. And then we kind of started watching some YouTube channels and saw people vlogging and their trips. I'm like, well, this would be kind of fun to do it. And honestly, we really didn't expect it to do much of anything. We just thought, even if it's just for our personal, memories to have, captured, it'll be worth it. And then it kind of started just, catching on.
YouTube wasn't in we weren't thinking about YouTube at all. I didn't know it.
I guess it wasn't.
Neither one of us liked to be on camera, and quite frankly, we were terrible at it. And I feel like I'm getting a little bit better about it, but it's still not a real comfortable thing. Also, I didn't know the first thing about video editing or producing or any of that. So we started.
Oh yeah, I guess.
With a Facebook page, and this was our very first ever post. It's got that made with switcher thing right over the top of it. But May 2018, we started this Facebook page. A few other fan pages for Vegas existed at the time. And so we decided, you know what, let's start there. And if we can get anybody to follow us on Facebook, we can kind of scrapbook our own memories on Facebook. And so we created that page. And then it kind of grew. And next thing we knew, we had 3,000 or 4,000 people following the Facebook page. And then we decided, hey, let's make videos. So we started doing that. And the rest, I guess, is history.
Yeah.
So here we are. That was in 2018. We put our first YouTube video out in 2018, but that was just kind of to see if I could even make anything. And it's still there if you want to go back and watch it. It's a pool walkthrough at the Mirage. Whew, it's not good. But I leave it out there just to remember myself. Remind myself where we came from. And then we didn't really do anything on YouTube really for the next couple of years. It wasn't until late 2020 that we started putting YouTube videos out. So really only about 2 years we've been doing YouTube. So, but that's how it started for us. Really just as a hobby idea that
I don't even know how you can tell which ones we.
Well, I've let's see. I think we're right around here. Planning any more meet and greets. And I was going to bring a picture in from our meet and greet at the Mirage this past summer, and I guess the answer to that is yes and no. We don't have one formally in mind right now, but I think we would love to do that again.
Yeah.
Are you reading comments?
Sorry, yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Keep up with the comments. As far as meet and greets are concerned, we'd love to do that again. We'd love to do a group slot poll, but it's just kind of hard getting enough people on a specific date in Vegas.
It's hard.
And especially when we don't plan our trips more than a couple months in advance, you kind of want to give people at least 3 or 4 months notice, and then if they're going to plan their trip around it, they can do that. But we will again, I'm sure, at some point, maybe next year.
We had a good time.
Yeah, we had a great time. The people that showed up were a blast, and we had a lot of fun. Some super nice people, and I know from the comments that there's just a lot of great people out there that follow and comment all the time, so it would be great to meet more people.
Laura says, would you ever renew your vows in Vegas? Actually, yes. We are thinking about doing that for our 10-year wedding anniversary.
We're going to do that for our 10th anniversary. We've got some grand plans. Hopefully by then. So we got a year and a half to get ready for that. Hopefully in a year and a half we have 10,000 subscribers. What if we've got 20 by then? That'd be cool. And then maybe live stream it or something and do it in a...
We plan on having some fun with it.
Well, we plan on having some fun. Like, Elvis is going to be the efficient, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
And, Pink Cadillac to leave the facility and whatnot. So yeah, actually we do plan to do that. That's gonna be fun. We talked about doing it for our 5th, and it did never
It didn't happen.
Steve G. This is Steve from Illinois, and he's a great time. Steve is one of our patrons. He supports us on Patreon. Great guy who happened to be out in Vegas in September and going to the stadium tour that we went to, the concert, and he met us down at the Uber pickup, and
We kind of just happened to run into each other,
yeah,
honestly.
down there at the Uber pickup at the MGM Grand, and he offered us a ride, so we took him up on it, and we crammed 6 of us into a regular size SUV with just the front 2 seats and the back bench, and we rode over to Allegiant Stadium. And then I'm pretty sure it was Steve who convinced the Uber driver to stop in an absolutely no stopping zone,
Yeah,
and
while we all
got yelled
jumped out.
at by a parking attendant. I think that was Steve's fault, but whatever the case, I knew that we weren't going to get in trouble. It's the driver that's going to get in trouble. But Steve, it was great to meet you. Hey, we got a super chat. Thank you, Glasgow Productions. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Very cool. Thank you.
Appreciate
That's
that very much. And
awesome.
hopefully we don't miss any of these. I don't know what the star means.
I don't
Does that
either.
mean I put it up on the screen? I bet that's what that
Maybe.
means. Okay. Hopefully they don't show up any differently on our little streaming device here. So hopefully we didn't miss any earlier. If we did, we apologize and we'll shoot you a message later to tell you thank you. But anyway, Steve, it was great to meet you finally. And thanks for the ride. I think I probably said that the day of. I don't know if you remember or not. You'd had a fun day at the pool before that concert, I think.
I think.
And then, obviously, the concert was a phenomenal time. Hey, speaking of the concert, before we move on to the next question, this just goes to show you the power of social media right here. This was a clip we posted on our Show Me Vegas Facebook page at the concert. It's no audio on this, I don't think, but it's Kickstart My Heart. And I posted that on Facebook. And it didn't really go, maybe a couple hundred of you saw this. And then maybe 2 weeks after our trip, people started sharing this and sharing it and sharing it. And if you look at that post closely, it's got more than 4,200 likes. It was shared 237 times and it was viewed 77,800 times. And I'm like, why can't we get a YouTube video to go like this? Because we're not getting any money out of a
We're not
Facebook
getting
video,
this.
especially since it's a copyrighted song, but we're not getting anything out of that. But it's funny because about 2 weeks after our trip, we started seeing that thing blow up, and I'm like, what is going on with this post? And people were going crazy for it. Mike C from B2B Restaurant Reviews is in the house. Okay, he's here. We can start now. All right, good. We've actually been saving everything
We really have.
until you showed up. We haven't said anything yet.
Let's see here. I know there was a question someone asked what we do for a living, because obviously YouTube is not our main
that's on
form of
here.
income. I'm not sure where. I swear I just read it somewhere.
It's in there somewhere.
Anyway, so like I said, this is not our full-time job,
Of course not.
unfortunately.
Of course
I
not.
wish.
If we could live on this amount of money, we'd be living very frugally.
Yeah.
Because YouTube makes
Contrary to what people think.
YouTube makes some money, but I mean we're not Mr. Beast.
No.
We don't have 100 million subscribers, so.
And giving away hundreds of
So
thousands.
yeah, we
of
do
dollars.
have day jobs, and I think we talked about this on our last live stream. But
Yeah.
I'm in the banking sector, and that's about all I'll say about that, just for privacy reasons. But
And then I'm a nurse practitioner, so
yeah.
that's why sometimes it's very difficult for me to get away.
Yeah,
So.
Patients are kind of needy like that.
They're kinda needy,
They need
yeah.
to be seen, and you need a couple months lead time to clear your schedule to go to Vegas. So that's what we do when we're not making YouTube videos. And I feel like I spend a lot of my free time. Somebody asked, and I didn't get a slide made about it, what our hobbies were. We don't have a whole lot of time for a hobby. Well, you have less than I do, it seems like. But what's your favorite thing to do aside from go to Vegas and work?
Well, I like to go on walks. I like to read. Well, I can't get time, I guess, to do that. Listen to my podcasts. Catch up on all my crime junkie stuff. Yeah.
In my free time, I play golf and I make YouTube videos. And the YouTube videos take up most of my free time.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
then
I don't know how
when
many
we don't
times
have free time, we have like kids stuff.
kids activities
Yeah.
and whatnot. Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's not a lot of free time, but love to play golf, and like to make YouTube videos.
And
It's
Jordan does all the YouTube stuff. I'm just here, but he does it all. And I'm gonna go back real quick because a lot of people don't know this, but when we first started our YouTube channel, and I talked to him about this today, most people didn't realize that was really tough when we started it, because if you notice in some of those early videos, Jordan wasn't able to walk without an assistive device for like 2 years. And we literally, it wasn't just about like filming. We had to find creative ways to film, and like he did a really good job and was a good sport through it all. And anyway, so,
we watched Aerosmith from the ADA platform at what was then the Park Theater. Now it's Dolby Live. Got us a better seat because I got the ADA platform. I sat on my walker and watched Aerosmith. And it didn't seem quite fair because Steven Tyler's 70-something years old and he's running around the stage, and I'm like, this is cool. I'm going to push my walker out to the concourse and get another cocktail.
Like, there were so many trips where we had to take multiple assistive devices, and trying to load those in an Uber was challenging. And I would, like, having to push Jordan all up and down the hallways and these assistive devices,
Drivers were nice about it.
The drivers were great about it. Yeah, they helped.
All right, here's the hardest hitting question we got, because this is tough. If a friend, and it's cut off there because of my watermark, my free software that I'm free trialing right now. If a friend asked for 5 must-see places or restaurants they had to visit in Las Vegas, what would they be? The person who asked this question said their friends ask them this all the time, and they have a hard time coming up with it. And I think that's because people's tastes are so diverse.
Yeah.
I think we came up with 3 that we were...
Yeah, and like he said, the taste, like everybody's a little diverse, but also the budget. I mean, it's kind of hard to, you don't really know what people's budgets
are. So as far as a specific restaurant, I couldn't recommend one to anybody without knowing what their budget was. And even then, there are so many good ones that I can't say that there's one that you just have to go to. Now, things that I would tell somebody who's never been, something you have to do is go watch the Bellagio fountains.
Yeah.
We did that every single trip until we'd been 15 or 20 times. We still like to do it if we have a chance. But like if I were telling somebody who's going for the first time, I would say get to the sidewalk, go out and watch the Bellagio fountains, and you'll be blown away. What were some of the other things?
Honestly, just taking a day to walk the strip. Walk up and down the strip, see all the casinos, the sites, or at least as much as you can. Some of our best days out there have just been walking around the strip and having drinks every once in a while, and people watching, honestly.
And not a specific restaurant, but have at least one really nice meal.
Yeah.
And that could be different for everybody. Whatever your budget is, find something that's in that price range, at the upper end of it, and dress up and go have a nice meal.
Oscars at the Plaza. Yeah, we really enjoy Oscars.
Don't just try to spend as little as possible on your meals.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many great restaurants, and I know they're expensive, but pick out at least one and have one really nice sit-down meal, if only that. See a show.
Yeah.
Any show.
Yeah.
Could be any show. Now, my favorite show of all time in Vegas is Love at the Mirage. And I understand that supposedly the Hard Rock expects to keep that. I hope.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because that's a phenomenal show. And that would be the one, if somebody said, what show would you see? If you could recommend one, that would be the one. That's 4. We didn't come up with 5. Whoever, I can't remember where that question came from, but whoever asked that question, there's 4. Maybe you can fill in the 5th for your friends who asked that. So.
Mon ami Gabi for brunch. Yeah, we had that a couple times trips ago. Yeah, it was really good.
How many nights is the perfect Vegas trip for you? What it is? Let's give separate answers here, and we'll see if they match.
I'm gonna say 4. For me personally.
Care to elaborate?
Okay, so well, and it kind of depends on the trip. I mean, I could go longer, but I couldn't go
couldn't go hard.
Couldn't go hard for like several days. I think for me, 4 nights is a good time for me in Vegas. It gives time to feel like you're not so crammed. Like a lot of times we have just those 3 nights and they are just packed and filled, and there's just no downtime. I think with that extra night, there's a little bit more downtime. You're not as I don't know, short on time and all of that. So I think 4. We've done 5 before. I think that's. I guess technically I just did 6 when I went to that conference.
Yeah, but it was half work, half vacation.
Yeah.
So.
But 5, like I said, it was fine and I could do it, but I just have to pace myself.
Lance says his favorite show is Carrot Top if you're into comedy. Well,
oh yeah,
we are into comedy, and I'll put that up there. And we've seen Carrot Top twice, and I couldn't believe the first time I saw it. I said, I can't believe I'm laughing at this. I thought we were going to hate it. We decided to just give it a shot, and we laughed hysterically.
Oh
the
yeah,
entire
it
time.
was hilarious.
It was so good.
I mean, it was like ugly laughter.
I thought, I'm like, this guy's, I don't like this guy. This is gonna questionable. No, we loved it so much that we saw it a second time, and he's got new material all the time.
Yeah.
So you see it one year, you see it the next year, all new jokes, and it's like a brand new show. You could see it probably every year.
Let's see.
Was I? Oh, about the nights. I think 4 is perfect. I think 4 is. I mean, I would love to do longer, but the way we Vegas, 4 is just enough. It's not too many, and it's not so short that you feel like you're just getting there and then leaving. Our 3-night trips frequently feel like we're back on the plane and we just got off the plane, and like, well, here we are back on the plane again. Where did the time go? 4 nights allows you just a little bit of extra decompression time, and you can relax on one of those days and kind of recharge a little bit. So I agree. We're both in agreement on 4 nights on that one.
Rocky Mountain Roller says, before you met and married, did you both visit Vegas, or was it something you both decided to do together? I had never been to Vegas before I met Jordan. He had been.
I'd been
once.
Twice.
Okay. But it was a little bit of a different trip, obviously. I mean.
Yeah, I went with my brother once, and then I went with a couple of buddies the other time.
Right.
And so, they weren't like significant other type of trips. They were guy trips, where we're going pretty hard. So, and I was a lot younger, and it was I was young. I was winning. But no, she had never been. So the first time she ever went was in May of 2013. Memorial Day 2013.
Stayed at the Monte
Carlo, and she was hooked.
I was. Yeah.
Somewhere I took a picture, probably on a flip phone. I don't even know if we had iPhones at that time.
I think
that
so.
was
It was like an iPhone 3 or something.
9 years ago. Somewhere I have a picture of her putting a $20 bill into a slot machine. Her first ever gambling action. And oh boy, our dog.
Sorry.
Braden must be here.
Our other child's home.
It didn't go very well. But anyway, she was pretty well hooked, I think, right away. You want to let her out?
I'm going to shut the door.
Okay. So, yeah, we neither one of us had very much Vegas experience. Now, this was 2013. By the time we decided to do anything with social media and or YouTube, this was 5 years later. So we'd been 8 or 10 times, probably 8 times maybe by the time we decided to do that.
Yeah.
Quick, what is our next trip? How many is that together?
Oh gosh, 23. No. 24? No.
It's the silver anniversary.
Oh, 25.
When we go in December, it'll be our 25th trip together. I've been 4 other times.
We were caught.
Was that a hot tub time machine quote?
Absolutely.
It was. Are you talking about the we were young? Or I was
momentum.
young, I was winning? Yeah, that's hot tub time machine. We like to quote movies. I want to find a way to work movie quotes and movie clips into our videos more often, because that's kind of who we are. I don't think we go maybe 30 minutes in any given day without quoting a movie. And it's from about a dozen different movies. But yeah, that was a hot tub time machine quote. So there you go.
Nice catch.
Very good catch. People are listening.
Yeah.
If you had to recommend a low or low middle priced restaurant, what would it be? All right.
We talked about this earlier.
Easy. Because first of all, I'd throw out all fast food, low
We're not
rent
counting
chains.
fast food,
I'm going to throw those out because I don't think that's what the person's asking about. Maybe something Vegas specific that's reasonably priced. What was it? You've already forgotten?
No, the Pub and Grill.
Wolfgang Puck's Bar and Grill.
And the name escaped me. I'm sorry.
Wolfgang Puck's Bar and Grill at the MGM Grand.
Yeah.
And we just stayed at the MGM Grand in September, and we ate there twice, brunch 2 days in a row. We just like it.
Yeah, the
It's-
food's
it's-
good. It's always good. It's it's very inexpensive.
It's
I feel
very
like.
reasonably priced, and you can make it even cheaper because they have a whole bunch of My Vegas rewards.
Mhm.
Every time we go there now, we use a My Vegas reward.
Always.
Either a bottle of wine or a $25 dining credit with the purchase of
the
2
one
entrees and
or-
2 drinks. So you can make it even more reasonable, and to me, that's a perfect low-middle dining option. You've got a celebrity chef involved, and it's a cool place, and it's good. So that answers that one. Let's see. Favorite time of the year or season to visit Vegas. So let's answer this one separately as well,
This
because
is a
it's
hard
probably
one.
going to differ. Let's narrow it down to a month instead of a season. Because like in Vegas, even the seasons, there's such a difference from the start of the season to the end of the season, weather-wise. So let's go with a month.
You go first.
I would say June.
Okay.
I would say June because it's not crazy hot, but it's nice and warm and it's pool season. I like being there in the summer. I like them all. I mean, we said this last time, we've been in
every
all
month.
12 months. And I like them all. I think they all have their high points and their low points. But we like to go to the pool, like to be outside. June's hot, but it's not inferno hot.
Yeah.
And it's nice and warm for the pool. And sometimes you go in May,
It can be cool.
it could be too cool for pool weather. I know they're going to be open. Pools will be open, but I've been in May where it's 65 degrees and like gale force winds, and you don't want that either. So
Yeah.
that's why I like June. I would say if I had to pick a month, it's June. Also, my birthday's in June, and we go in June almost every year. We've been probably the last 5 Junes.
And I'm just going to be different from Jordan. I like going to the pool too. It's honestly really hard for me. But I really kind of enjoyed around Christmas time. I thought it was really neat. I just liked seeing all the decorations. So it's like a total opposite, honestly, but I really enjoyed it. So
We're pretty much out of questions on that side, so let's jump over here.
Okay.
Favorite part about staying at Bellagio? Let's have yours.
Okay. Favorite part, I really like the rooms. They're newly renovated. They were super nice. Honestly, this sounds bad, but immediately what pops up, the only thing I really just don't like about the Bellagio though, is it's always so packed.
The question was favorite part about staying
I
at
know.
Bellagio. Let's not get negative.
I'm not going to. No, I love the Bellagio though. It has a really good array of restaurants, although I will say they are all a little bit higher end or more expensive. But
You're trending negatively
I
again.
am. I don't mean that in a bad
She
way.
hates the Bellagio.
I
Really.
don't. I love the Bellagio. I just think it's very classy. To me, it's a classy Vegas. Just what you think of Vegas. I mean, honestly,
It's the aura.
yeah, and it's the location.
It's
phenomenal.
Ocean's 11, the good Ocean's 11, not the first one that's a piece of garbage movie. It's Ocean's 11. It's the mystique of Vegas. The fountains. I think the Bellagio fountains are Las Vegas. I think that might be the most iconic spot in the entire, man-made in the United States. I mean, the Bellagio fountains. And the Bellagio is the epicenter of Vegas. And it's just that atmosphere. It's always been, like you said, it's a rat race, but that just goes to show how popular it is. People want to hang out there. I love it there. I love it. And we stayed there in January of this year. And we'd also stayed there a couple years ago. And the room renovation is beautiful.
It really
The
is
room
pretty.
was phenomenal. We loved it. And yeah, it's right in the center of the action, the fountains, just everything about the atmosphere of staying at the Bellagio. That's what I like about it. Excuse me. I'd really like to go at Christmas. Well, that's what we're getting ready to do. It's cool.
It's really pretty.
It's really pretty.
I really like it.
The conservatory at Christmas is phenomenal.
It's gorgeous.
Every hotel has great Christmas decorations. You could just go around, literally, you could just spend a day just walking around checking out all the Christmas decorations. It's awesome. Yeah, can't afford the stores, but it's beautiful.
Us
Yeah,
either.
Same thing as what we were
Ditto.
saying before. Get to the point travel, tried Earl of Sandwich in August. Wasn't bad. I would say that's how I would describe Earl of Sandwich.
Yeah, it was
Wasn't
okay.
bad. Wasn't bad. It was good. It was, we had a pretty decent sandwich. We stopped in there one time, the one at the Miracle Mile shops, looking for a quick bite. And it was cheap. It was really cheap. And it was a big sandwich, and it was pretty good. That's how I would describe it. Wasn't bad for a quick breakfast. Yep, agree. What just happened here? Okay. Well, I can't say with little to no effort necessarily on this one. Rocky Mountain Roller says, what is or was the craziest upgrade you got in Vegas? Well, we got a pretty cool upgrade at Mandalay Bay. Yeah. We kind of had a friend behind the scenes set us up with that because of a certain video that we made that went kind of certain waves in the on the internet. So we had just booked a Standard King at Mandalay Bay. Wound up staying in a 2-bedroom penthouse that was like 2,400 square feet.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Had multiple living areas, had an awesome wet bar. The bathrooms were ridiculous. That room was awesome.
Yeah, it was the coolest room.
And when we showed up, there was a spread of chocolates and champagne and stuff on a room service cart with welcome cards and all sorts of stuff. So that was a pretty cool upgrade. Won't get too much into how we got that one, but we didn't have to try too hard for that one.
Well, we did kind of. I mean, honestly, I don't know if we tried really hard.
Well, we had to have a bad experience, but
yeah.
I mean that's a whole nother story. Most people following the channel probably know about that.
So someone says, Laura says, what do you think Vegas will be like in 20 years? More sports and shows and less gambling? Yeah, I do. I mean, I think that's going to be the way of it. I don't know.
I don't know that there'll be less gambling. I mean, every place is still going to have a casino.
Yeah, no, I know. But I mean, as far as their income, I mean.
Yeah. Well, people by and large gamble less all the time. Each generation gambles less than the one before it, really, if you look at the stats. And that's why the prices of everything else have gone up. They got to make money somewhere. And if we're not going to go in and lose a bunch of money in the casino, they got to make it from us somewhere else. So, yes, more sports. Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be an NBA team in Vegas within the next 20 years, maybe probably within the next 5 to 10. There might be baseball. So there's going to be more pro sports, more sporting venues, and probably less gambling, sure.
Okay. Oops. Sorry. I know you guys talked about the MGM credit card in My Vegas, but how do you maximize points for your trips?
Oh, yeah. This I saw this question earlier, too. Here's how we use the MGM credit card. We charge our entire life to it. I mean, pretty much every bill we have is just auto billed to that credit card. And we use it we use it basically just to stay at least gold.
Yeah.
We gamble, but we don't gamble enough to be
gold
platinum.
On that zone or
yeah. Before they made the changes with the credit card, we could easily get to platinum. Now that they've made the changes, our gambling doesn't count for as much as it used to, so now we rely heavily on the credit card to maintain gold status. I mean, the credit card's got no fee. There's no annual fee for it. It has pretty good rewards. I mean, they're like that 1%, 2%, and 3% cash back type of thing. Kind of like your standard, like your Discover card and all those. But the number one thing it does for us is it keeps us gold, which gets you, these days, your $100 celebration dinner, and it gets you your resort fees waived. And I just said we didn't gamble that much. All of our room offers, even when our rooms were comped, fully comped, it wasn't a full comp because we still had to pay the resort fee. But now that we're gold, we don't. 10, 12, 15 nights a year in an MGM resort with no resort fee is a huge bonus. So that's the thing the credit card really does for us.
That's a big one for us.
It keeps our status. We'd be Pearl without it, I think, because our gambling just keeps going down. Mm-hmm. And we like to play table games, and they don't care about $25 blackjack players like us. That's not, you're not going to earn enough points to get free rooms doing that. So that's pretty much how we use it. And we did use, obviously, our slot dollars on that last trip for that video. And we got almost all of it back.
Yeah.
So we left with that $1,000 basically. It's like $960, I think, at the end, or $950 in cash in hand.
So it was like a one-to-one.
So it was like we were able to just cash that out and take it home with us. So that was great. So we just got our credit card rewards back that way. So we like that card. I think we'll continue to use it and at least make sure we hit gold every year. We're actually going to get somewhat close to platinum this year. It's going to be kind of.
So I need to go on a spending spree.
It's going to be so close that I'm going to be like, man, I wish we'd taken one more trip.
I'll just go spend somewhere. Don't worry.
Nando says, congrats on 10K, you two. Thank you. Thank you very much. Do we watch any slot channels?
Not really.
No.
I really don't.
No. We're so bad at slots that I don't even want to see somebody else win. You know, we'll watch slot videos that our normal channels put out.
Yeah.
But you know, when the big channels like Pomsey and Ruby and Turn It
Say
Up
Hi.
World or Say Hi to Matthew, did you have a separate slot channel?
No.
No. When the bigger channels started coming out with separate slot channels, we don't follow those. I don't really care to sit and watch somebody play a slot machine. I know a lot of you guys do. So we try to put out some slot
Yeah,
videos,
we do.
like we just recently did. And those slot videos, they get a lot of interaction, but they don't get nearly as many views for us as some of the other things. But we like to keep a variety, so we make them. We don't really watch them, though.
Unlocking travel. Congrats on the 10K. Is there anything you make a point to do every time or most times you visit Vegas? Or do you try to keep every trip a little different from the last?
Both.
Yeah, it really is.
Both.
Well, and honestly, because of our channel, we do have to switch it up because obviously we can't continue to do the exact same content every single trip. So it does keep us doing different things and trying new experiences. But I do think that there are things that we have gone back to several times that we do, you know.
So, not specifically, but we like to see a show every time we go to Vegas.
We have like a routine.
So, see a show. That is something we do every time we go to Vegas. So, and we'll repeat shows because certain shows are so good. Like Love, we've seen 3 times. MJ1, we've seen twice. We saw Zumanity 2 or 3 times before it went out. We'll probably see Mad Apple again at some point. I'd see Absinthe again in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It was terrific. But we like to see a show every time we go. We always like to have at least one really nice dinner.
Yeah.
And then hopefully spend an afternoon just walking the strip. Those are 3 things that are standard for every trip that we make.
And we always like to try a new lounge. That's kind of been a newer thing, but we do like to do that. So we don't, I mean, like I said, have a necessarily specific thing, but we do have our routine that we stick to.
But the trips are different because it's a different show and a different restaurant.
Yeah.
And, you know, and we go to a different place or whatever.
What's the one thing that we've done probably more than any, like gone anywhere? I'm trying to think if there's like a lounge that we've gone to more than any ever. I'm trying to think if there's just something. Juniper, yeah, we do like Juniper.
Because we like to hang. We love Park MGM because we mentioned earlier the Monte Carlo was our first stay together in Vegas, so it has a soft spot. We have a soft spot for it, I should say. I'm pretty sure it has a soft spot for us too.
Yeah,
That's what
taking
I
our
started to
money.
say. That's what I started to say. Because I love those guys. They suck at slots.
They suck. Come
I
back.
love those guys.
Allie says, "What is your ratio of fun in Vegas versus work for your channel?" That's
Allie's in the house. She's also one of our patrons. Thank you,
yeah.
Allie.
That's a
Appreciate
good
that.
question. It sometimes is hard to separate the two. I was a little bit more, I think, irritated or reluctant to, you know, when I go, I wanted to have like, you know, fun, and I'd get mad at Jordan for wanting to film all the time. But you know, it is sometimes hard to separate. We actually, what we've started to do, you know, we used to actually film a little bit like in the restaurants and all of that, and we've just really stopped doing that.
It's so hard, and we just really want to enjoy the meal.
Yeah. So that's kind of our one thing that we've really just not been doing anymore, and I think it's helped not make it so just
contentious
constant.
sometimes.
Yeah. So just constant, because you know, and like I said, not to say that we don't have fun when we're out there, we do, but it is. You know, you do have things you got to get done, and sometimes you're exhausted, and you still got to do it. So
yeah. So ratio, hard to say. I mean, we're looking at still 70% vacation, 30% work.
you think?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's more like
gamble and drink and have nice meals and see a show.
I would say for me, it's definitely 50-50.
See a show. See, this is where we differ.
We're just, you know, moving on.
Hold on. So we were filming an intro for that part 2 of that slot video, and I mentioned it on that video, but boy, we just got into a spat at the North Valet of Aria filming that thing.
We were really trying to put on our happy faces that very second.
Because trying to decide who was going to say what or what we were going to say.
It's not as easy as it looks.
The outtakes are ugly. I was very uncomfortable watching the outtakes. I was like, boy, that was even worse than I remembered it. So
they were vicious.
You got to be very careful when you're doing this not to take the fun away from going to Vegas. And so, like this behind us right here, we'll get home and we'll have not filmed 10 different little clips that I wanted to get. And so we needed have some kind of studio, if you will. So if we need to film an intro or something like that at home, at least we have something interesting and Vegas related behind us. So that's a big part of why I set this whole thing up and got this sign here. And actually, it's gone over pretty well. If you watched our Vegas Things episode that we put out a couple of days ago, filmed most of it here at the house, and I thought it turned out really well. And that's better than having to film in your hotel room when you just really don't feel like it. You had a rough night, you're in a bad mood because you're down $1,000 or whatever on the casino floor that night,
happens.
And you just don't want to film. It's nice to be able to do it at home some and not lose too much interest factor.
Okay, so Rocky Mountain Roller says, that's interesting about your MGM credit card. Do you think you will always be MGM people, or would you ever consider Caesars Rewards or others? For the record, I am done with Caesars. No, we will probably always be MGM Rewards.
We talked
people.
about this today. The Caesars properties, and no offense to people who like the Caesars properties, there's just not very much about the lineup of Caesars properties that we like.
Yeah.
We don't like Caesars Palace. You want to talk about an unpopular Vegas opinion? That's ours.
Yeah.
I don't like being at Caesars Palace. I don't like the layout of it. We rented a room there for free. We got a comp room there one time, and we paid a resort fee, and we went to it to make a YouTube video. We wanted to do a room tour of it. Hated the room.
It was just not.
It wasn't clean. And we decided not even to make the video because we didn't want to just be known for... This was not long after the Aria thing.
So we were like...
We're not going to put out another negative room tour. We don't want to be known as people who just go around and nitpick places, because that's not what we do.
There was I'm just going to be very graphic. There was like a couple pubes on our bed at one point, and it grossed me out.
At one point, upon check-in,
they were just...
We saw it as soon as we walked into the room. I'm like, there's a hair in the middle of that bed. You get closer and you're like...
There's a couple.
That's a specific type of hair in the middle of this
bed.
bed.
And the floors were just stained and not... I mean, they were just terrible. Anyway, whatever. But no.
We already didn't like Caesars. And then once we saw that, we're like, I can't see us ever staying here. The rest of their properties are kind of the same way. I kind of like to walk through them, maybe, but I don't... They're not places I really want to stay. And
I think if we were to stay at one, it would probably be Paris. I don't know. I think that's probably one I would.
And we love Wynn and Encore.
Yeah.
We'd love to stay at Venetian and Palazzo.
We did stay at
we love Cosmopolitan. I guess that's M Life now, or it's MGM Rewards now. But so there's plenty of other places to stay if we wanted to move away from MGM. Caesars is probably not going to be it. It's probably going to be Grazie Rewards at Venetian and Palazzo, or at the Wynn and Encore. So Caesars just probably is not ever going to be for us. And I mean, things change. They could sell and buy and change properties and maybe sell.
Dogs, yeah.
She's got to go let the dog in because the dog is like scratching.
That's
at the
a good
door.
question. We've got a good story about that one. Remember?
Have you seen any celebrities in Vegas? We have a good story about that.
Yeah, I remember when we were had several drinks and we were sitting down at New York, and I saw what's his name walk by, and I said a certain comment.
Who are you talking about?
The NBA, remember there was,
most people aren't really going to consider him a celebrity because she didn't know. She didn't know who he was. It was Bill. It was Bill Walton. Bill Walton, the basketball player.
Well, it was just funny how it came about.
Yeah, we can't say what you said.
I can't. It was not.
But she's like, look at this tall guy. Here goes this like 70-year-old man who's 7 feet tall, and he's just
stuck out.
He stuck out. He goes sauntering by, and she's like, "Look at this!" And I'm like, look over my shoulder. I'm like, "That's Bill Walton." And she goes, "Who?" And I'm like, "Bill Walton. I mean, he's a basketball Hall of Famer." Pac-12 tournament was going on at T-Mobile Arena, and that's why he was there. He was walking toward the arena. We were out at Beer House, I think, at the time.
But I don't think we've really seen
celebs in Vegas.
We saw Siegfried before he passed.
Out
in his garden.
Yeah, he was at the Secret Garden at the Mirage, wearing a blue sparkly coat. It was 113 degrees. No joke. It was 100. That was exactly the temperature.
Pants.
113 degrees outside. He's wearing black slacks and a blue sparkly blazer, like he was ready to go on stage and perform that night, walking around outside looking at his cats. I guess technically he still owned those animals at that time. This was about a year before he passed away, and I had my walker, and I was like chasing him around. I was trying to get a look at his face just to make sure that was him, and lo and behold, I should have gone up and said something to him because I found out later that like he was the nicest guy in the world. He always would stop and talk to people and take pictures with them and whatnot. So I wish I'd done that, but I guess that's a pseudo celebrity sighting that we had. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. The one who said that he couldn't be in this room. He's behind the camera now. Number one restaurant on the strip or downtown. Well, gosh, I hate to keep barking up the same tree. So what else do we have? What's your favorite restaurant?
Oh my gosh, that's such a loaded question. Do you have something in mind?
I know what your favorite restaurant is, but it escapes you at this moment. Is there anything?
Oh,
champagne?
No, that's gone. Carbone.
Go for a beverage.
I'm gonna say it. Carbone.
She's got
Aria.
it. Carbone at Aria is her favorite restaurant in Vegas, and I have a hard time. It's in my top 5.
It was
good. Outstanding.
As far as experience, though, I really like the Golden Steer for like an old school Vegas or like Oscars. That was another good one.
Yeah, and Oscars is kind of polarizing. Some people really love it. Some people don't. We love it for the atmosphere. The food is good. The atmosphere is phenomenal. It's got that awesome old school Vegas vibe. So those are a couple of our favorites.
You're fine. Thank you.
What is he? Pick something. Just call me Trevor. Hey, Trevor. He says, "Have you?" He said, "This is not what." This is not what he said. He said, "Have you or ever?" Okay, he did say this. Are you ever interested in doing a video on something other than Vegas? Okay. Touring like Mead, video Vegas neighborhoods, convey the house, landscape design, etc. Videoing Hoover Dam.
Not right now, probably.
Not right now because, like we talked about earlier, it's hard for us to get off strip. We don't have a car. We don't rent a car. We're there such a short time. Those types of things. Now, I would like to be able to put out a video from time to time that was not about Vegas, but as another YouTuber kind of pointed out to me, we kind of pigeonholed ourselves by putting Vegas in the name of our YouTube channel. And if we put out a video that's not about Las Vegas, nobody's going to watch it, and we're going to lose subscribers. Next thing you know, we're having to do another 10,000 subscriber celebration live stream because we dropped and then came back. But no, I mean, I would love to be able to do some other stuff on YouTube, but our channel is what our channel is, and so that's what we make. But it works because we like to go to Vegas. All right. AC says you've seen him too, probably about Siegfried, I'm guessing. Totally agree. MGM better than Caesars. Yep, that's about Siegfried as well. Oh, have we ever been to the Legacy Club at Circa? No. People were asking about restaurants, and we've got some favorite restaurants, but we certainly have a favorite lounge, and that is the Legacy Club. Legacy Club at Circa was one of the coolest places I've ever been.
It was amazing.
I don't know what it is that I love. I mean, it's so...
It's like old school meets new school, and it's like the best fusion. And the drinks are so inventive. I was really screaming. I'm sorry. I got excited.
Gosh, you got excited about Legacy Club.
The drinks are phenomenal, just like stuff you've never heard of. And the view is really cool. And we couldn't even go out on the deck that night because of the wind. I think they had it shut down that night for wind.
Yeah, the outdoor area was closed. The door was locked because it was too windy and it was chilly, I think. This was January, wasn't it?
I think it was March.
It was March. Yeah, I think it was kind of chilly and it was really windy
That was
outside,
the night that we had such an early flight.
That was the night we found ourselves on Fremont Street until about 1, and we had to get up at 4 to get to the airport. So Legacy Club is awesome. Yeah, they loved it too. So that makes sense because it's awesome. That's about Siegfried again. Amanda Nunes. Is that, are we talking about the UFC fighter?
Yep, that's cool.
That's cool.
I wouldn't want a shoulder bump
Good
her.
thing you didn't.
I wouldn't want a shoulder bump
You might have gotten dropped right there at the Fashion Show Mall.
Oh, shoot.
But, I can't even tell how many people we've got online right now. This thing doesn't show it.
Oh.
Somebody tell us, because, I'm having a good time, and as long as you guys have comments and questions, we'll keep going for a little while. But...
Got 50.
If everybody, well, that's not bad. I mean, we keep on going. Let's scroll back and see what we missed. Drop your questions below. Hang on, let me see.
Do you ever fly first class to Vegas?
We don't have the option.
We fly Allegiant.
We fly Allegiant Air. And let me go on a little bit of a rant, not a rant, a diatribe about Allegiant Air real quick. People love, and I feel like Jeff on his live stream earlier. This is something people like to shit on, is Allegiant Air. We live in a mid-sized city in the Midwest that is underserved. It's not underserved. It's not well served by the major airlines because it's a small airport. It's a medium-sized airport. Allegiant Air has been the best thing probably that has ever happened to our airport. I mean, Allegiant flies like 7 different destinations out of Springfield nonstop. 3 different places in Florida, Vegas, Scottsdale, LA. So Allegiant is phenomenal out of Springfield, and it's the only way we can get to Vegas without 7 hours of travel and without spending $600 a person round trip. So we fly Allegiant. They don't have a first class cabin, but we've always been extremely pleased with it, and we've had maybe in 30 plus round trips on that airline, maybe one bad experience.
We had a delay for like 4 hours, I think.
It was a mechanical issue, and this was back when they used to fly those crappy McDonnell Douglas aircraft, those old MD-80s, and they've since upgraded their fleet, and we've been on time and on budget with Allegiant ever since. So, Jeff is just in. I think he just came right in
as we were
as I was mentioning him, because he was saying earlier that people have always shat on Luxor, and he's right, and it's not that bad of a place. That's how we feel about Allegiant Air. People love to rip Allegiant.
Well, knock on wood, but we've always had a good experience.
And by the way, it's a Vegas company. It's a Vegas airline. That's where their headquarters is. They're huge in the community there, and it's one of the most profitable airlines in the world. So, I mean, they're doing something right, and they get us to Vegas, and they get us there reasonably and almost always on time. So, knock on wood. Knocking on the blackjack table here. But, yeah, about the nearly shoulder checking. Jeff, it was fun watching your live stream today, and I was mentioning to Ashton that the last time I saw you live stream, and I may have missed one since then, but you put together a Lego set while live streaming, the Vegas Lego set, and didn't it take you like 5 hours or something like that? It was a really long deal, but anyway, that was fun to. It was fun to watch this afternoon. Have you had Javier's at Aria? Thoughts?
Oh, several times.
Oh, have we?
Yeah. I actually went there by myself in September and sat at the bar. I love Javier's. I think the food's excellent. The drinks are phenomenal. The 2 margaritas I would recommend is the jalapeno margarita and the cucumber margarita, which was phenomenal as well. But we love Javier's. It's really good.
Josh and Rachel just stayed at Luxor. Did you guys really stay at Luxor? I know you said that you were going to stay at all the MGM resorts, and Did you stay in the towers, or did you stay in the pyramid? Interested because we watched a Coolest, and he did that tower room that he had, and it was nice.
Yeah.
Really nice. I stayed in the pyramid room, and it was a little bit older, but they'd remodeled it, and I was perfectly happy with it. Super quiet. It was I really enjoyed the experience.
Laura says, "Do you ever go clubbing in Vegas?" Hell no. Hell no.
We have visited one nightclub in Las Vegas. We've told the story before, and we're not going to rehash it here, but
it was not a good night for Jordan and I.
We got into a spat. It was Jewel at Aria, and who was there? Iggy Azalea was going to be there that night.
We only heard that name 800 times.
We got in for free because the ladies got us. One of the promoters noticed it was us and another couple on the trip, and the ladies got the attention of a promoter who gave us obviously the comp access to the club that night. Oh my gosh! I mean, the whole place was like this. It was just everybody was like walking around like. I mean, this was back in like 2017.
And even then, I felt too old to be there.
Oh yeah, and I mean,
that wasn't my thing.
I definitely was too old. She was not too old, but she even felt it. It was not.
I will say I hate the club thing. I never have been a clubber, but I much more enjoy going to a lounge and having a drink and having just light music in the background and being able to talk. But no, we're not club going people.
They stayed at the Pyramid. Yeah.
Okay.
And he said pleasantly surprised.
Hey, and Rachel said that two of those are her two favorite drinks at Javier's as well.
Javier's is great. And, upscale Mexican, I like Mexican, and when it's like...
Oh, we were talking about going to that place that they went to, the Toco, what's it called?
Toca Madera.
Yeah.
That might be a place we eat in December,
Yeah.
Toca Madera. We liked their video, Josh and Rachel's video about that place so much. And it's right there by Aria.
It looks really cool.
We're
on the
staying at
outside.
Park
I walked past
MGM,
it.
so it's not a difficult walk to get down there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's one we might go to in December. Favorite restaurant at the Venetian, James. Sadly, we don't know very much about the Venetian.
Yeah, we don't really go in there a lot, which we like it. I mean,
We love the place, but like we were talking about with our MGM rewards and whatnot, we try to stay there, at least for now. We're trying to stay there because that's where our comps are. That's where we know. We stayed at Wynn a couple of times in the last 2 years, and we like to go across the street and hang out at the Venetian and the Palazzo. So that's coming. We don't know a lot about Venetian. Honestly, I don't even know enough about it to make a... We were going to eat, for one of my birthday dinners, we were going to eat at... what's the fancy Asian place?
Oh, I don't remember.
At the Grand Canal Shops. It's a club-like place. Tao.
Yeah.
Tao. And we didn't wind up going over there. And I wish we had. But that's right up my alley, so I think I would really like that.
I think that's Trevor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Trevor, yes. So we were never hockey fans until Vegas got a team, and we saw that as an opportunity to pick a team from its inception and be fans. And not have to say we jumped on the bandwagon later. Just say, Vegas is our thing. We don't have a hockey team, so we became Golden Knights fans, and we've been to 2 or 3? Two games? 2 games.
It's
awesome.
so much. It's so much fun.
First and foremost, this might offend Jeff if he's still on since he's Canadian. He says, it took him 5 hours to do that Lego set. I mean, hockey's not in America. It's not a big deal in America for the most part, especially in southern climates like Las Vegas. But if you've never been to a hockey game, if you've never been to a professional hockey game, I think you owe it to yourself to see one.
It is so much. The Golden Knights games are so much.
Don't let hockey on TV make you think like, oh, I can't follow this. It's too fast. I can't see the puck. When you're there in person, you can see the puck. You could be sitting 3 rows from the top in the corner, and you can still follow the puck. You know what's going on the whole time, and it's just an awesome atmosphere. And then in Vegas, it's an awesome atmosphere on steroids, and it's like being at the club, Laura. It's kind of like being at the club with the high energy music and the lights and everything. The intros are awesome. Golden Knights games are a blast. If you're even remotely interested in hockey, I think you should go see one. And prices have come down a bit. The news starting to wear off. They didn't make the playoffs last year, so prices are starting to come down a little bit. Hopefully that happens with the Raiders at some point, so we can go see the Chiefs play out there.
Yeah. Allie says, we went to Jewel on our last trip. Didn't like it at all. Well, we're not alone there. Omnia was an incredible experience for us the year before. I feel like we were aging out. I need a lounge or ultralight. See, that's exactly what I'm all about the lounge.
Here's a lounge that's somewhat club-like, but small. Well, 2 of them, actually.
I would help you.
Bellagio, the one in the middle.
Lily,
if you go on the weekends, late. It's, kind of loud music, kind of club-like, but it's a small lounge, and so you feel like you're in a lounge.
The drinks are really good, too.
You're not in a place with Steve Aoki at the turntable, just pumping out tunes. But it's like an ultra lounge. We love Lily. We go to Lily all the time. Alibi at Aria is that way too.
Yeah, I don't really care for Alibi.
Well, we've only been there once, and that was during the day.
I wasn't super impressed with their drink menu.
It's small though. I think it's hard to get into.
Yeah,
kind of.
I just wasn't really blown away by their drink menu. I remember,
but those are those types of places. Yeah, I agree. Clubs, no thanks. But like high end lounges like that, yeah, I'm interested in that. What about the Wynn?
Favorite restaurant, I think, is what he meant.
What about favorite restaurant at the Wynn?
Maybe.
We haven't eaten at a lot. because we've only stayed there twice, and we also left the property a couple times to eat some of our dinners. We've never been to SW, and I hear it on pretty good authority. Wink, wink. That's really great, and I would like to try Lakeside there as well.
Yeah.
Both of those ones down by the Lake of Dreams, I would like to try. SW, I think, would be the one we would go to probably first, just because its reputation precedes it. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that probably would be my favorite if we'd eaten at a lot of them. The buffet, we were very underwhelmed with.
It was a little disappointing last time.
Very underwhelmed with.
Rachel says it's a beautiful venue, Toca Madera, completely redone from the previous place. Yeah, it was the pub. I remember it being the Todd English's pub.
First, it was Todd English pub, and then later, after he was dumped out of all of his restaurants because of some allegations, it then became just the pub. And we ate there for lunch one time when it was the pub. AC would love to see a game there. He's Canadian Leafs. Must be a Canadians fan. Jeff loves VJ Key. VJ Key. VGK hockey. Oh, by the way, listen. We've got a post office box. If anybody wants to ever send us a gift. You guys, like people send Dale and Paula stuff all the time. Like they always do these P.O. box hauls. Like everybody loves to send them stuff. We didn't even so much as get an email from you guys. We accept gifts. We love gifts. We have a P.O. box. It's post office box 89, Nixa, Missouri 65714. Anyway, if anybody wants some last minute gift ideas for me, I'm gonna drop this.
Give me a lump sum of $650 million. That's how it works here in Canada.
This is the
So
Vegas Golden
going
Knights,
back to disappointment,
reverse retro jersey for this year, and this thing is awesome. It's got glow in the dark and black light sensitive stuff on it. So, if anybody wants to send me one of those, they only cost a couple $100. It's not like it's a big deal. Send one of those my way. I would be very grateful. Oh, that's not the one I want. What happened to my slides here? We'll just keep playing that.
Oh, okay.
Nah, I can't. Anyway, I got so bogged down in that whole deal. What is the most insane loss or win as soon as you buy into a blackjack table? Well, that's hard to answer because if you watch our vlogs, our daily vlogs. No, but if you watch our daily vlogs, you'll know that I have a new nickname.
You lost me.
My nickname is, especially when it comes to the blackjack table, my nickname now is Mr. Discipline. Yeah. I'll sit down, $25 table, and I'm pushing green chips all day long. I never put more. You can't put less. I don't vary my bets anymore. I just sit and I play the minimum, and I just have a good time. And that's what it's really all about. And if you do that and you maintain your discipline, it only takes just a little bit of luck to win some money, or a little bit of bad luck to lose some money. But I can't say that I've ever sat down at a blackjack table and won or lost, or seen anybody win or lose a whole bunch, because I just play to sit there as long as I can sit there.
Yeah.
Get a few drinks, maybe walk away up or down $100. No big deal. Had a good time. Chatted with the other players. Chatted with the dealer. That's what blackjack is about to me. Is finding a table that's fun. The dealer's fun. The other players are having a good time, and you just sit there and you have a good time with people.
Do you think MGM will keep Cosmo the way it is, or try to change it? I think they're going to keep it pretty.
I think as far as the property is concerned, I don't think they're dumb enough to mess with it. Other than I think eventually they'll surely roll identity into the MGM Rewards program, which I want, because we're like Identity Sterling, the second level or whatever, but we don't get good comps there. And maybe once they integrate that with MGM Rewards, we'll start to get better comps there, because we love the Cosmopolitan. I would stay there all the time if we got comps there, and if it was a little bit more affordable than what it is. So,
Rachel says, we love the Knights game that we attended. We are headed to the Raiders game on our next visit.
Ooh, who are they playing when you go? I'm curious.
Is it the Broncos?
Oh, probably so. Are you going to go see them play Denver? That would make sense. That would make sense. It's difficult to play a game in the dark, even if the jerseys are glow in the dark. All right, yeah, I agree, Trevor. But I think they would look awesome in the pregame intros, and also for people like me who get one in the mail as a gift. I could wear it in a black light situation. It would look awesome. So that's why I think
Black light situation.
a black light situation. So that's why I want one. Will you ever film your blackjack play? Well, I mean, that's highly frowned upon. And I know some people, aka Pomsey, have done that with the glasses, the Ray-Bans that have the camera. You can't do it.
I don't know if I would ever feel comfortable, because then I wouldn't feel comfortable to publish it on my
Right,
YouTube channel. But
right.
that's just
and
us.
I know people do.
I
There's
know
a
they
channel
do,
out
but-
there where the guy plays roulette live all the time. That's a little easier because there's more going on at the table. There's not just like 5 or 6 players. There's a whole bunch of players, a lot of action. But yeah, you publish that. Are you going to get 86 from the property after that? I don't want to get kicked out of MGM Resorts for filming live blackjack play. You know, they're cool about if you win something on a big side bet,
Right,
like taking a picture of the table or whatever, but you have to ask them first. And filming is just, it's really not in the cards.
Oh, the Colts. We don't want to talk about the Colts.
Yeah, well, the Raiders will probably win that game. I would have to guess. One of these days we're going to see the Chiefs play in Vegas, but it's going to have to cost less than $500 a ticket for a nosebleed seat before I'm going to do it. I mean, I wouldn't even pay $500 for a good seat to a regular season game. Chiefs tickets are expensive, but Raiders tickets are crazy, and that's the tourist effect. Because everybody wants to travel to Vegas and watch their team play, because why wouldn't you? I mean, you get to vacation and get to see your team play all in one trip. It's the best of both worlds. Best view of Vegas. Well, there are some good ones. Fountain View Terrace at the Cosmopolitan, I think, is probably from a Fountain View
Is
Terrace
she talking room, or do you think like just the best view?
Well, there it is. Just the best view. I mean, well, a high floor at the Cosmopolitan looking toward the fountains. That's one of the best. You know, Sky Bar there at Waldorf has a great view, but it's indoor, so you're looking through glass. So it kind of takes away a little bit. You don't get to hear the sounds and stuff. We want to go to All A on 66 at Resorts World, and I'm sure that has a pretty great view. I'll tell you what's going to be the best view of Vegas. The rooftop bar at Fountain Blue when it opens. Oh, yeah. That thing is 60 some odd, a true 60 something stories above the ground, and it looks straight south from there, and that's going to have a phenomenal view. That's going to be awesome. Which properties? This is easy. Which properties do you think have the best dealers? It's important to me that they're engaged and even trying to help me have a good time. Absolutely.
Number one.
If I'm going to play table games somewhere, and my objective is just to have fun, which should always be your objective, Park MGM. We've talked to so many dealers at Park MGM and gotten their entire life story. The one guy who'd been there since the day it opened is the Monte Carlo back in 1993 or 96. They have awesome dealers. They're a great time. Now Aria has had some really fun ones, and has also had some of the worst.
Really bad ones. Yeah, I don't know.
They're trying to drive you away. They're so unfriendly.
I've had the best overall experiences, and more than just 1 or 2 or 3 occasions, has always been Park MGM. I always felt like their dealers have always been very pleasant, very talkative, nice, engaging.
They have a lot of long-term employees.
They really do.
A lot of dealers that have been there since the day it opened as the Monte Carlo, which is really neat.
Allie says a few channels get permissions from the property. I believe that court.
Yes.
And we do know
so
that.
So Pomsey has a whole video about a blackjack session that he was playing, but he had the table to himself, and it was like in a separate room. And so I mean they'll let you do that. I don't think they would let us do it. I don't think we're big enough, and it's going to get enough exposure for them. They might. You never know. I don't know. Maybe the Plaza. They're very vlogger friendly. So if you reach out to some of those places ahead of time, it'd be fun. But I don't think anybody wants to watch somebody sit there and bet $25 a hand over and over again. People would probably want to see me get a little more crazy with my
Josh
bets.
and Rachel say go when they were playing someone like the Colts level. We got a decent price for pretty solid seats. And Rachel said this. Yeah, Rachel said the same thing. So.
But here's the thing: I don't want to watch the Raiders play the Colts because I hate the Raiders. No offense to anybody who's a Raiders fan. That's just how we are. If we're from Missouri, all right. So that's just it is what it is. And if you like the Raiders, then you hate the Chiefs, and you understand where I'm coming from. So I don't really want to go watch the Raiders play somebody else. I only want to watch them play the Chiefs.
And then Laura says, "Have you ever gotten a tattoo in Vegas?" No, we haven't. We've thought about it, but
And the other thing is, a lot of times we're there and it's like we want to go to the pool and stuff,
Yeah.
and you can't do that with a fresh tattoo. So
fresh tube.
And the other thing is, it's like spas. You're going to pay twice as much for the same quality.
Unless you go to that one place, you can get that
the $10 tattoo. Yeah, well, you have like a certain number of designs, and it's like this big, but
yeah. And then Allie says, "Total bucket list trip to see the Chiefs in Vegas. My kid would kill us if we went without him. Hoping to score some tickets for Bills Chiefs in Buffalo one day."
That's right. You live in New York.
Yep. I'm sure it'll be a small fortune. It
Would,
yeah.
There's not a regular season game anytime soon, and they'll probably be playing. I'm going to guess the Chiefs are going to be playing in Buffalo later on this year, perhaps in the playoffs, and that'll be an expensive ticket.
Yeah.
We went to the Chiefs.
Titans.
Titans AFC Championship game in Kansas City a couple of years ago.
It was like -10 that day.
And that was a small fortune, and it even got more expensive the next year and the next year. And now we're probably priced out of that if they host it again.
Especially if it's that temperature again.
But if that happened in Vegas, I mean, I can't even imagine what the prices would be. I can't even imagine.
Missed the red bar at the Monte Carlo.
Are we talking about Ignite? I think maybe we're talking about Ignite. Wait.
I don't think so.
There was Ignite right down there at the end of the casino. There was also a something near Diablo's. Well, that was near Diablo's. Yeah, the Monte Carlo was cool. We ate at Brand right before the Monte Carlo started switching over, and we really enjoyed it. That was a shame. Bevets is in that area now. So is Juniper. How does she know I went anywhere? Welcome back. Well, I guess they just assume you're repeat visitors. Well, the comments are slowing down, and I guess we probably are too. If we missed, we did give a big shout out to a super chat earlier. If anybody dropped one and we missed it, I apologize in advance. But we appreciate everybody sticking with us this evening and chatting with us. And we like doing this. This is fun. We like to live stream at home more than we like to live stream when we're in Vegas.
Yeah.
Live streaming in Vegas, she hates it.
I
mean, I kind of like it, but it is exhausting.
It is exhausting.
And we try to do one, maybe not every trip, but maybe like every other trip. And who knows? I don't know what we've got planned for December. Maybe we'll live stream, do some Christmas decorations or something like that. That could be pretty cool. But what casino had the rudest dealers?
Aria.
I'm gonna say Aria. We've had some before
that were just awful.
That just it's like, aren't you working for tips? Okay, and here's a little bit of a rant for a second about dealers who are rude. Most places these days, if I understand it correctly, the dealers pool their tips. So for an entire shift, we've got you can't see it, but we've got a Blackjack over here. All the tips that go into the box for that entire shift are pooled amongst the dealers working in that pit that night, which is totally unfair to me because there are certain dealers that are so rude that there's no way, even if I were winning a small fortune, I wouldn't tip that person because they're literally trying to make me have a miserable time. And I'm like, this is the hospitality industry. If you want tips, let's have some fun. I hate it when one dealer is super nice and friendly and you're having a great time and then he gets tapped out and here comes this guy who's just, or lady who's just miserable. And you know that half your tips are going to that person. I hate that. Rude dealers expecting tips. I hate that.
The more you know.
The more you know. Anyway, it looks like everybody has gotten the message that we're about to wrap this up. Anyway, thanks guys so much for subscribing. If anybody watching tonight is not subscribed, why are you not subscribed? Why are you watching and not subscribed to the channel? Please do that and help us get to the next milestone. We don't know what the next milestone is. We're not going to set any goals at this point, I don't think, because
we don't want to let ourselves down.
No, some are too high. You can't say 25,000 because that seems pie in the sky. Maybe 15. I mean, at this point now, it's just let's see.
We just want.
Yeah. And it's you know what.
Just keep growing. That's the goal.
Yeah, and people, you just got to and grow the views. People got to watch the videos. And I will say that right before this happened, I was really down about subs were trending downward. We had 3 or 4 videos in a row that like pretty much tanked, and YouTube's algorithm is really difficult to understand. And you kind of feel like sometimes you're getting a raw deal. And but then we hit the 10K and we released a new video, and you guys apparently loved it. It's doing really well. The Vegas things. And we're taking suggestions on what other episodes to produce on that thing. We've gotten some good suggestions so far. Blackjack gambling etiquette is one of those ideas. So hopefully we do that soon. Anything else? I'm just rambling at this point.
I know, and I don't think so.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you've got other friends and family that like Vegas and are not following the channel, recommend the channel to them and see if we can get some more subs. So we're gonna end it here. Thanks, guys, for watching.
Bye, guys.
Hey, there's always more for us to show